I'm going to talk about my testimony to begin with. You guys know that I had depression when I was about your age to about, I think I was about 19 when I was better. If you've heard my testimony before, I'm very sorry. But I want you to know that I'm not equipped, but I know about these things. I know depression is different from one person to the next. My depression might be different to if you're going through it or if you know someone who's going through it. But I started becoming depressed, and I want to say seriously depressed, but seriously is probably not the right word. When I started to be depressed, I was about 17, 18. Growing up, I'd had short times in it, but you're growing up and you have good days and you have bad days. But it came to quite a serious end when I was about 18. At that time, I had a boyfriend who was a bit older than me. He had depression, but he gave me attention. It was nice. He was a guy, and he would talk to me a lot. Well, until we started going out. I had a group of friends. I've always found it easier to talk to boys. I find I can get along better with boys. At that time, when you're a teenager, girls sometimes can be really nasty. So I had my close group of friends, and then I had the boys that I was telling you about the last time I was talking, who were the ones that were good to, if I got into trouble and needed a fight or needed help, if I got into trouble with. So I had a lot of people around. I had my mum, my dad, Ali and Lawrence. I had a lot of people around, but I felt very lonely. Mum and Dad fought a lot. Dad would hit my mum. He would hit me and Ali, and sometimes my little sister, Lauren. But I tended to get in the way because she's 10 years younger than me. So home was horrible, and I didn't have many friends. I wasn't particularly attractive. Apparently I was fat. And so I didn't really have any worth. I didn't feel worth anything. And I thought this is what life was going to be like for the rest of my life. I started to self-harm. I've got scars up my arm. I've got them on my leg too. But, you know, it was a cry for help, but no one really ever noticed it. My mum never noticed it. My dad, I want to say my dad didn't care, but I think that's a bit harsh. My dad's really old. He's 65, and he comes from the era of depression. If someone was depressed, you go up to them and you go, snap out of it, and that instantly means they're going to get better. So he didn't understand it, and he thought that I should just be I would be okay, that in a matter of time I would suddenly get better. So he never noticed, and he helped things, or he thought he didn't really help things. He would say I was no good, I was ugly, that I was never going to do anything with my life and that. So my self-worth and my self-image was this ugly girl that didn't have many friends and didn't even have her parents. When you're growing up and you're being bullied and you've got no one, you want your mum and dad to be there and going, oh, it's alright, you'll be okay. But nothing. And with my friends, they kind of, this might be a wrong attitude, but I think with boys, they try and fix it. You talk to a boy and they will, instead of just listening, and this might be harsh, I'm sorry Jim, instead of listening, and Brian, instead of listening, they will try and fix it. They will give you a solution. So I said to my boyfriend at the time one time, oh, I feel down, I feel quite low. He went, well, why don't you change your hair? Not, oh, it's alright, you'll be okay. No, it was, why don't you change your hair? And now, it's something I've learned. If I feel a bit low, I change my hair. Something I did take from him. But, so they were constantly trying to fix it. And when they couldn't fix it, and my friend Phil has said that he did this, he stopped trying to, he stopped talking. Not to the extent that he stopped talking to me completely, but he lost interest. So no one was helping, and I thought, okay, it's normal. My nights, teenage girl, 18, should have been out partying. No, I was on my bedroom floor with the light off, just lying there. And I spent about 6 months doing that and eating a lot. I think I ate like a tub of ice cream every night. I was fat. I looked at old pictures, so I'll look back and see what I looked like back then. I might put some on Facebook. I was fat and unhappy. But I had my boyfriend and I had these people around me, but no one noticed. And then my boyfriend at the time tried to kill himself, and he cut his wrists, and I didn't find out until the next day what he'd done, and I felt really bad. I thought, what have I done wrong? I put all the blame onto me. Though he was in a bad place, he was drinking far too much. And we all know that alcohol is a depressant, and he was depressed and he was drinking about 4 or 5 cans a night, I think, at that point. So, but instead of, I think when you have depression, you don't look at things logically. Everything becomes quite personal and you become quite selfish in a way and quite, not arrogant, but everything's about you. If your friend has a bad day, it's your fault. If your sister's had a fallout with her boyfriend, it's your fault. Everything is, you feel, it's not, but you feel it's your fault. So I put all the blame onto me, that he had done this and his dad was talking to me, and I was like, oh, I couldn't cope with it, because I couldn't carry it. I wasn't strong enough because of everything I was going through. The thought of having to carry my boyfriend just was a bit like too much, and didn't want to talk to my friends about it. Mum and Dad I couldn't, because home was bad, and I didn't really have friends like I have now, which are close. So a couple of weeks later, I tried killing myself. I tried cutting my wrists, but I think Lauren walked in, so I stopped and was like, oh, won't do it again. a couple of weeks later, which these points I think it's God, if I'm honest. I took about 15 paracetamol. Mum called me. Mum walked in, said, "What on earth are you doing?" I didn't think of anyone. Thought the thing would have been to have done it when everybody was out. But I wanted out. I couldn't stand it. You know, I was alone, I was low, I couldn't stand it. Mum walked in. And Mum went downstairs and said, "I think we have to take Libby to the hospital. She's taken a lot of paracetamol." And Dad went, "Don't care." And he carried on sitting on the sofa. And if I was low before, I was even lower then. I thought, I could have died that night. And Dad, like, don't get me wrong, I love my dad to pieces now. I wouldn't be without him now. But at that time, I thought, what's the point? Like, what is the point? Even my dad, if I died tonight, my dad wouldn't have cared. I ended up the next day just being very low and very sick because paracetamol. Obviously, I had a lot of paracetamol in my system, but it was fine. And I told my boyfriend at that time, and he goes, "Okay, right, you've got to go on antidepressants. You've got to go to the hospital today, and you've got to go on antidepressants." And I didn't want to go on them. I thought, great, all I need to be is on drugs for what I thought would be the rest of my life. Because I'd had spouts of it and there's history of it in my family. And I thought, great, there's no way I'm getting better. I'm going to spend the next 40 years on antidepressants. I thought, well, I better go on there because my boyfriend told me to, and you know, it was the best. I went and I spoke to the psychiatrist, but my mum was in the room, so I couldn't be honest. I lied something chronic to the psychiatrist. He had a completely wrong idea about my life, and he gave me the tablets, and I was fine. Problem is with antidepressants, in the first 2 weeks, if you've got suicidal thoughts, in the first 2 weeks, it will make them worse. I don't know. For me, it's a stupid thing for them to do, but doctors are like, "No, go on them." But you've got 2 weeks, which is your danger period, where you're like, the thoughts that you wanted to kill yourself get bigger. But I didn't try it then. Anyway, I split up with my boyfriend because he couldn't cope with me self-harming. He didn't mind I was depressed and I was trying to kill myself, but the fact I was cutting myself, for some reason that was what he couldn't deal with. So we split up, and he was like, "Oh, we'll get back together, just get yourself better and get better." And then one day he came into work, and have you had it when people just want to wind you up? Not wind you up like a friendly wind you up, but they really want to make you angry and they want to hurt you. And I didn't say, but my boyfriend was my supervisor at work. So we split up, and then I had to go to work and see him every day. And he went to me, "Oh, my girlfriend's going to come and pick me up from work." And at that, I said to him, "I've got to leave work. I've got to go." I phoned my area manager, went, "I need to leave. I need to go. I can't be here." I thought, I'm not going to go back there. But I did. I went back there. And then one day I thought, go for a run. Because sometimes, my dad always would like to know where I was. That's how I knew he cared. In a strange way. But if I was going for a run, he said I could leave my phone at home. So I went for a run, and I met Hannah and James. They're two people in the church, Hannah and James Lawrence. And they went to me, come to church. And I went, yeah, okay, whatever. But I thought, yeah, okay, I'll go and I'll try it out. Thinking, there is no way I'm going to church. Church is for people that are boring. I was like, I don't want anybody else in my life who will be fake and pretend that, you know, I'm important to them when actually I'm not. I didn't trust people. I particularly didn't trust men because of my dad and my boyfriend and my ex-boyfriend. But I was like, yeah, no, it's fine. I'll go. And a couple of weeks passed, and I didn't hear anything from them. And they were like, oh, come to church. And we tried, because there was like, at church, there was like a youth service when I first came. It was like a mini church service all those years ago when I started in the youth. And we went there, we were going to go there once, but James's car broke, and we sat on the pavement outside his friend's house trying to fix his car, and it got so late that we didn't go. So I thought, yes. I got out of that one. And so a couple of weeks passed, and work got really bad, and my ex was being a real jerk, and I was getting panic attacks. And I thought one night, at Friday, this is it. I have had enough. And I thought, I'm going to have to do it. And this time, I'm going to have to try and kill myself. And I'm going to have to do it properly. And I knew Mum and Dad would be out. And I thought, I think Lauren was out as well. I thought, great, I've got the place to myself. I thought, this is it. Got home from work, and Hannah rang my house phone. And she went, we're coming to take you to church in 10 minutes. I went, and I couldn't make any excuse. I couldn't say I was out because she'd rang my house phone. I couldn't make any excuse. So, I went to church. I met Anderson and Jim and Ruth. They weren't married at that point. That's how long ago I came to church. And Matt and Ian. And I came into the church, and all focus was on, there's a new girl in the room. And everyone came up to me, I think. I think you might not have. No, you did, didn't you? Because you made some weird comment. Like, I looked like someone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
You look like my mate Tufty.
Oh, that's
I think
it.
he was the girl version.
That's it. So,
Yeah.
First time I meet Jim, and the first thing he says to me is, you look like my male friend. And I thought, right, gee, thanks. That's nice. That's what you wanna hear when you first come to church, especially when you're not feeling so great about yourself. And everyone was really nice, and Anderson preached about the cross. And why I was thinking, I just felt an urge, because I had been going to church years and years before, that I had to start, going back to church. So I did. And yes, God changed my life completely. And I advise you, if I know God doesn't change the outside, but if you want to see how much you've changed, look at old pictures, because when you're maybe I'm wrong, but when God changes the inside of you, I think you can see it on the outside. I don't mean like just one time you're fat, one time you're thin, one time, but it's like you're happier in pictures. I don't know where I was going with this. Where was I going with this? But yeah, so I'd gone into the church and felt like I had to go back to church. And though it was God that changed my life, I really believe and feel that He used the people around me to change my life. Matt has the patience of a saint. Matt walked alongside me for the first 6 months. He was calling me. I could call him. He would come and meet me, because I would have times where I was like, I'm not coming tonight, and he would come and he would trick me into going. I'm not saying trick people into going to church, but he used to meet me before, and he knew that I'd feel better and then I'd go. So, and Jim and everyone was so genuine with me that my life turned around. There is times where you have bad days. I'm not saying I have depression, but I don't need to think now every day I wake up and I'm like, woohoo, like I'm really happy today. But he, and it was all about being genuine with people. I think that's the important thing, like what Celeste was saying today, like when she talks to someone and they say something about something, she's honest with them, and she's like, what you're doing is wrong. You have to be genuine with people, and if you're going through it, or you know of people going through it, and you want my advice, that is a key thing, is to be honest with them. I can remember there was another person in the church, and I got quite upset once, and they said to me, would you rather me help you and be honest, or would you rather I lie and you don't get better? And obviously it was the be honest, and it might be hard now. I think they were telling me off for being paranoid or something, because that was an issue, that was part of it. But when you're honest with someone and it shows you care. If can I use an example, Celeste? If I saw Celeste swearing a lot, that's not a good example. If I saw Celeste, Celeste isn't, okay, but if Celeste was cutting herself and I tapped her on the back and go, there, it's going to be okay. That's not me caring. That's me sweeping it under the carpet and leaving it there and hoping it's going to go away on itself. But by me going, Celeste, you're wrong. I'm sorry to use you.
It's alright.
That's a way of showing that you care. They might not want to hear it, but at the end of the day, it's what they need to hear. And sometimes you hear things that you don't want to hear. But I really learn, and I think it's important anyway, if you have depression or not, you have to learn who you are and who you are in God. Like, the fact is that we're built in His likeness, in His image and likeness. Like, He made us in His image and likeness. So God's not going to make a rubbish version. He's not going to be like, oh, couldn't be bothered today to make Jim, so I'll just do a half. I'm going to have like a half copy. Like I'm going to make it make him not so good because I can't be bothered. Or I'm going to make Laura today, and I'm going to make her fantastic 150%, and she's going to be far better than Jim.
True story though.
Well, yeah. He's going to make us equal. And the thing I struggled with was the fact I thought I was on the floor and everybody else was so high up that I was in a room of people and I couldn't talk because I thought I've got nothing to give, I've got nothing to share. Libby, like, what can I add? Truth is, you can add to it. And when you start seeing yourself the way God sees you, makes life a lot easier. It makes you feel you can overcome things. It's also important that you know what other people are worth as well. Like, you need to know that Jim is worth a lot, but he's worth the same amount as you. Or, do you get what I mean? You're looking at me confused. No? So it's about not putting people so high up and you so low. You need to bring people, at the same level as you. God gave everyone gifts. And he's got a call for everybody in their life. Now my calling might be to live in Brazil for 10 years. And Jim's calling might be to serve coffee in the hub for 10 years. Come on.
I won that one.
But as long as me and Jim are just obeying what God says, my gifting is not as important as Jim's. If Jim's doing it out of obedience and I'm doing it because I want to look good, Jim's calling is greater than mine. He's the one doing the right thing and I'm the one doing the wrong thing. Does it make sense? So don't look at like Leo being a worship leader and think, oh, he's so much better than me because he's got a calling to be a worship leader on his life or a youth leader. Truth is, actually, he's the same as you. He's unique. Everyone's unique. But do you get what I mean? You need to, and I think it means that you can love people a lot easier when you know that because they're not higher than you and they're not lower than you. You need to look them in the eyes. The same, when you can trust someone, you can look them in the eyes, but you have to be aware that everyone's the same and you all have your different gifts, and that it will come. You don't necessarily see your gifts straight away. Like, people say that I've got a gifting for teaching, but I only knew that when I started teaching. So if you think you haven't got a gifting today, don't worry, don't panic. Pray about it and God will show you and will help you. It's kind of thing, I guess it's like, Lord, sometimes you can pray like, Lord, I want to be patient. God's going to give you opportunities to be patient. Like you were saying that last week. Like, I think it's that's a gifting, to be patient. I think is that right? Like, it's a gifting. So you can pray for gifts. Like, I don't know, I can't think of a really cool one.
Prophecy.
Prophecy's a cool one. Like, you can pray for prophecy and stuff, to be able to prophesy, using the wrong words. But do you get what I mean? Like, you can't, and like, tell people how important they are, how much they're worth something. I feel so bad. I was saying in my 10 minutes about the fact I didn't like my friend Phil very much, because I thought he'd stopped talking to me at that point. And I thought he hadn't helped or wanted to help at all. But actually, he was there. And instead of feeding him, like, not feeding him, but saying good things to him, I've been saying negative things over him. So please, say to even silly things like I came in today and Celeste goes, "I like your coat." That's a nice thing to say. And Jim, try and build people up. Try and make it so, because sometimes you have days, I think it's a thing, and you'll feel like you're not worth something, and all you need is that one person to go, "I like your hair," or "I like your t-shirt," and your day completely changes. Like, it is a thing, and it's about helping each other and building each other up. You don't want to be saying negative things over each other. You don't, I want to say think it, don't say it, but I guess it is that. Like, don't go up to someone, go, "Brian, you really annoy me." Because it's not going to help anyone. You're going to look nasty and Brian's going to feel bad. So try, you need to... Okay, Pat. But, do you get what I mean? Like, let's start and let people know how much they're worth to you. Like, you can say, like, "You've got a nice top on today," or stuff. But let people know that you love them. And you do love your friends, I'm sure. Like, you can... It was something that I couldn't do till I joined church. Go up to a friend and go, "I love you." I can't. I do it now with my mum and dad, but I couldn't before. And to say, like, my dad gets embarrassed if he's with his girlfriend, because at the end of the conversation I go, "I love you, Dad." He'll go, "Yeah, I love you too." Put the phone down, or he'll cut off before he's had a chance to say it. But do tell people how much, you're worth. Another thing for me...
I love you, Jim. I need to cry.
That was a beautiful moment right there. See? My talking in action. Fantastic. Love it. Another thing is find people to be honest with. People you can trust. Like, I'm not saying go around and tell everyone what's going on. Do you not, like, I'm trying to think of it. It's like, there's no point me going around to everyone in church going, "My work is really bad." No point. Because there's people in the church that I don't talk to very much. There's people that I love, but I won't. I think you have to share your life in church, but I think there's people in the church that you share your life with more. Like, people like, for me, it's like Jim and Leo and Fernanda. I will share my life and things more. So I don't have to carry things on my own. Don't feel you have to carry... Like, I'm not saying that they carry it with you, but there's something about... I can't remember the passage, but there's something about bringing things into the light. This, it's like a release. I can't... Do you know where it is?
I don't know where it is, but I know the passage you mean.
But it's about, bringing things into the open. don't hide everything and think, like, I used to come to church and I was like, I'm not going to cry. I am not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I've just had a fight with my dad. Or, my dad's hit me. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I got into church and God was like, right, you're crying. I don't think, but like, I'd come into church and suddenly the tears would be falling down my face. And there was where I had to be honest. So I want to encourage you guys. Find people, find friends and people that you trust and you know that they're not going to go and say to somebody else what's going on. But find people that you don't have to carry it on your own. Like, it's not about, life isn't about doing it on your own. It's not. God's put you into a family.
Yeah,
He's
good.
put people into your life. It's not going to make you a better person. Because I carried my depression on my own. There's times I'd phone Phil or my boyfriend and go, I'm really suffering. But what made me sicker was the fact I thought I could get myself better. I couldn't. You need people there to hold your arms up. I'm really good at remembering passages but not where they are. There's another bit. Guys, go and look and find it. Is it Moses? He has his arms up.
Yeah, Moses has to lift his arms up.
Yeah.
And then he gets tired.
Yeah. And his friends
In Exodus.
see that he's tired. And whenever Laurie probably don't. There's a battle between some people.
The Amalekites and
Whenever
the
Moses
Israelites.
lifts up his arms, the side he was on,
The Israelites are winning.
The
His
Israelites
arms are
win.
up.
When Moses drops his arms, the Israelites are losing. Moses needed Aaron and her in the end to keep his arms up because he was too tired. So it's okay to have people hold your arms up when you're tired. I think with you guys, don't carry other people's problems. Okay? Talk to them about it, but don't go home and be upset about it. Don't think, Libby's really depressed today and put it onto you and make you sad. Talk to someone, but don't carry it. It's not your burden to carry. Does that make sense? You can care about your friends and worry about your friends, but don't put the responsibility of fixing it onto you. Pray about it. Some silly little things that I've picked up along the way. If I'm feeling down, I put worship music on and I sing really loud. And within 5 minutes, I feel better. I might look stupid. I might look a bit crazy. But I'm telling you now, it works. So, pray to God. Call one of us if you need us. Call me if you need me and I'll try and give you some advice. But put worship music on, pray, read your Bible. God will speak to you through it. And, just spend some time with God. God gave me a Bible passage when I first became a Christian. And it's in Psalms 91. Psalms is at the beginning. It's not
91.
a very 91. This is
from
my
the Bible.
my favourite psalm, I think.
What verse?
No, I'm going to read it all. That's okay.
Top.
Which one?
The blue one. No, the blue one. The black one's like Old English.
This one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And blue.
One.
Psalms is that?
It's about halfway.
Yeah.
Start halfway and see where you. Yeah.
You right? So,
What have you got?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the foulest snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrows that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. If you say, the Lord is my refuge, and you make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will overtake you, no disaster will come near your tent. For He will command His angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent. Because He loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call on me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honour him. With long life I will satisfy and show him my salvation. God's with you, and He's for you. And whatever you're going through, whatever situation, whatever problem, whatever issue you're going, He's with you, and He will help you, and He will protect you. And He's put people in your life as well to help you and to protect you and to help you go through it. So that's where I want to finish, really, is the fact that you're not on your own, and that God's for you.